while I'm explaining the part, okay? So let's find. Here he said, according to the text, what is true about mother? So I need something talk about the mother. Something talk about the mother. So here he said, the following text is adapted from Edith Nesbit's 1906 novel, The Railway Children. Mother did not spend all her time in paying dull visits to dull ladies and sitting dully at home waiting for dull ladies to pay visits to her. So she is like the one that we said. She doesn't like people to visit her and she doesn't visit others. She was almost she was almost always there, ready to play with the children and read to them and help them to do their home lessons. Ah, she is a good mother. She is there for her children. Beside this, she used to write stories from them for them while they were at school. So she used her free time writing stories for her children and read them aloud after tea. And she always made up funny pieces of poetry for their birthdays and for other great occasions. Actually, this level one. This level one. So, the first answer, according to the text, she wished that more ladies would visit her. No, in the beginning she said that she never spend time, or she didn't spend time by visiting others or let others visit her. So it's not. Birthday are her favorite special occasion? No. She said only that she wrote funny pieces for poetry for their birthdays. She creates stories and poems for her children? Yes. She spent her free time to write stories and even poem for them. So it can be C. Reading to her children is her favorite activity. She likes to read for them. But he didn't say that it's her favorite activity. Clear, Malak?
Clear.
Okay. So now, so again, when I read the first and last, I found that A and C can be accepted. Now I'm gonna read the whole thing. He said the following text is from Maggie Bull Johnson's 1910 poem, Poet of Our Race. In this poem, the speaker is addressing Paul Lawrence Dunbar, a black author. Though with the stroke of mighty pen has told of joy and mirth, and read the hearts and souls of men, as cradled from their birth, the language of the flowers, thou hast read them all, and even the little brook responded to thy call. So, is it to praise a certain writer? Yes, this writer, Paul Lawrence, especially perceptive for being especially perceptive regarding beauty and nature. Yes, he now mentioned the brook, and it's a small river or a small lake. He talked about the flowers. He talked about men. So maybe look at C. To call attention to certain writer, careful, laboratory, detailed writing process. He doesn't talk about the writing process. So the answer is A. Clear, Laith?
Clear, Mr.
You remember the question that has a quotation. It will ask you like this to illustrate the claim. So now I need to find the word claim or the verb claim. We can't find it. So what we're going to do, forget about the introduction and take from whatever coming after the introduction. So here it said in the poem, white man suggests that readers whom he addresses directly have not fully understood themselves. Writing, you have not known what you are. Okay, so they didn't understand themselves. You have slumbered upon yourself all your life. Your eyelids have been the same as closed most of the time. Yes, here it mentioned that he's talking to people that they haven't fully understood themselves. Look at B. These immense meadow. Now we talk about nature. These interminable, not ending rivers. You are immense and interminable Add they. He talk about nature, doesn't talk about people. We need something to address the people that actually are reading his poem. I should have made my way straight to you long ago. I should have blabbed nothing but you. I should have chanted nothing but you. Again here, he doesn't talk. Yeah, he took it to somebody or to readers, but he didn't say that they didn't understand themselves. I will leave all and come and make the hymens of you. None has understood you, but I understand you. Again, here he talk about the other people. Other people didn't understand the readers, but he is the one that understand them. Not like that they haven't understood themselves. So the answer is A. Let's go to number 13, and number 13 is scientific evidence. Scientific, the remarkable issue 4 is F true. What he want to support what students claim. So let's find the word claim. It's here. So now I'm gonna take from the subject till the end of the sentence. Okay. Now I want to support this one. Do I need to read more to read the whole thing? In some cases, how I gonna know if I'm gonna read the highlighted one and find that there are words that I don't understand, I'm gonna go up. But if I find that everything is understandable, I'm gonna just try to support the highlighted one by choosing one of the choices. He said here a student claimed that Chambe's photographs have considerable ethnographic value in his work. Take care of this word because I want to support it. Chambe was able to capture diverse elements of Bolivian society, representing his subject with both dignity and authenticity. Okay, the problem that I don't know what is the ethnographic. I know that it relates to his origin. So I need actually to read up to understand more about that one. He said, born in 1891 to a Kuchu speaking family in the Andes mountain of Piro, Martin Chambe is today considered to be one of the most renowned figures of Latin American photography. In a paper for an art history class, okay, now I know that this man actually is proud of his is authentic, of his origin. So he start to show them or to consider them with dignity and authenticity in his photographs. Let's find which one. Champe took many commissioned portraits of wealthy Bolivians, Bolivian society. But he also produced hundreds of images carefully documenting the people, the sites, the customs of indigenous means native people community of the Indies. Yes, he wrote up actually that he is in the Indies mountain of Peru. So now this show that he has actually considerable ethnographic value in his work. So it can be A. Let's look at B. Chambe's photographs demonstrate a high level of technical skill. I'm not talking about technical skill. I'm talking about ethnographic value. As seen in his strategic use of illumination to create dramatic light and shadow contrast. I didn't talk about that. During his lifetime, Chambe was known and celebrated both within and outside his native Peru, as his work was published in places like Argentina, Spain, and Mexico. Nothing here talk about that he was proud about ethnographic, and he showed the value of it. Here he talk about himself, not about his ethnographic. Some of the people and places Chambe photographed had long been popular subjects for Bolivian photographers. I'm not talking about photographers, and I'm not talking about this. These are popular subjects for them. I'm talking about his ethnic that show dignity and authenticity. Clear, Lucy?
Clear.
What he wants here, he wants to complete the example. And you know that complete is the easiest one? So I'm going to look at the last sentence from here. Do we need to read more? Sometimes if you find word that you don't understand. He said, in fact, so many films and associated records for this era, that I don't know what kind of era that I talk about, have been lost. Many. That counts of those four figures output should be taken as bare minimum. So the four figure that you have, the number that they have, you have to take it as a bare minimum, rather than total. So whatever is mentioned here, this is bare minimum, not total. It's entirely possible, for example, that. Let's find. Do we need to read more? I need only to know what's kind of era. So I'm gonna read up. Some researchers studying indigenous actors and filmmakers in the United States have turned their attention to the early days of cinema, particularly the 19th and 1910s and 1920, when people like James Young Deere, Dark Cloud, Edwin Carey, and Lillian Saint Cyr, known professionally as Red Wing, were involved in one way or another with numerous films. Okay, this is the era actually. Did the era. So now I want just to complete this. I'm gonna read again with you. He said, in fact, so many films and associated records for this era have been lost. The accounts of those four figures output should be taken as bare minimum rather than total. So these are not the total. It's entirely possible, for example, that. Let's find. Dark Cloud acted in significantly fewer films than did Lillian Saint Cyr. In fewer films. Okay, let's continue. Who is credited with 66 performances? Wait, actually, for this question, we said that those are bare minimum. Those are bare minimum. So those numbers actually are not the right one, and I won't support this, or I want to complete it. So how now you'd compare between Dark Cloud and Cyr? And you said that here is less than here. Yes, according to the schedule, they happen. But again, these are bare minimum because most of their films and records have been lost. It's not. Edwin Carey's, this one, credit 47, credited acting role includes only films made after 1934. No, it's between 1912 and 1934, not after. Not after. Lillian Saint Cyr, okay, acted in far more than 66. Yes, because these are bare minimum. Bare minimum. That means she acted in more than that. And Edwin Carey, okay, directed more than 55, 58. Yes, he directed more than that. Why? Because these are bare minimum. So it can be C. Let's go to D. James Young Deere. James Young Deere actually directed 33 films. No, here it's written 35, and this is a lower number. This is the bare minimum. So he made more than that. So the answer is gonna be C. Clear, Yusuf Magdi?
Clear.
Okay. Again, this is quantitative evidence. What he wants. He wants to support. Support what? Support claim. So let's find the word claim here. Here. So I'm gonna take this sentence and I want to support it. He said they claim that plants of these species, that I don't know what kind of species that they're talking about. So maybe I'm gonna read up. That grow in close, take care of the word close, close proximity to other plants, gain an advantage at an early developmental stage. The problem that I don't know what are these species and the proximity. So I'm gonna read up. Then I'm gonna just support it. Alicia Montesinos Navarro, Isabel Storer, and Rossio Perez Barreles recently examined several plots within a diverse plant community in southeast Spain. The researchers calculated that if individual plants were randomly distributed on this particular landscape, only about 15% would be with other plants in patches of vegetation, only 15. They counted the number of juvenile new plants of 5 species growing in patches of vegetation and the number growing alone on bare ground, and compared those numbers to what would be expected if the plants were randomly distributed. Based on these results, again, so let's find these kind of plants. They claim that plants of these species that grow in close proximity mean that they are not growing alone. They are not growing alone. Close proximity to other plants gain an advantage at an early development stage. Let's find which one that grow with others, not in pair, with others that will actually gain an advantage. Okay, let's find A. As he mentioned here, he said for all 5 species, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, less than 75% of juvenile plants were growing in patches of vegetation. This information is right, but it will not support this. Because I want support that if they are close to other species or to other plants, this will give them an advantage. Here he didn't talk about that. He didn't talk about that. Okay, so it's not A. B. The species with the greatest number of juvenile plants growing in patches of vegetation was H. stoichus. H. stoichus here. He said that they are the greatest number of juvenile plants growing in patches of vegetation. They are not. They are not. The most number or the greatest is here. So this is wrong. C. For T. Leibniz, this one, and T. Moroderi, this one, the percentage of juvenile plants growing in patches of vegetation was less, both of these, was less than that would be expected if plants were randomly distributed. Less? No, they are more. 13 more than 9, 120 more than 83. So it's not right. The last one. For each species, the percentage of juvenile plants growing in patch of vegetation was substantially higher than what would be expected if plants were random distributed. 13 more than 9, 120 more than 83, 106 more than 95, 321 more than 218, 12 more than 11. And this is what I want support. That if they are with other plants, this is going to be better for them. Here with other plants, patches of vegetation. Here bare ground alone. So the answer is right and the answer is D. Clear, Lucy?
Mister, I don't get it, to be honest.
Again, Lucy. Here, Lucy, I want to support that if the plants grow with other plants, this is going to be helpful for them. Okay? Here, the information is wrong because it's not related. Okay? Look at the last one. He said here, patches of vegetation mean that they are around other species. Okay? Here, bare ground means that they are alone. So here the number more than here. Here the number more than here. Here more than here. Here more than here. Here more than here. So this will support that if they are with other plants, this will be better for them. Clear?
Okay, got it.
Who's
Yes.
asking? Yara, you ask anything? Or Malak? Okay. Let me stop the recording. Again, we have the word or the phrase F true. What you want to support. Support what? The researcher hypothesis. So I'm going to search up for hypothesize. The verb. So now I'm going to take the full sentence. He said here the researchers hypothesize that the plants depend on dissolving underlying rock with these acids. What kind of acids? I don't know. So again, the researcher hypothesized that the plants depend on dissolving underlying rock with these acids, and the process not only creates channels for continued growth, but also releases phosphates that provide the vital nutrient phosphorus. Let's go up just to know more information about the acids, but I want to support this. He said in the mountain of Brazil, Barbicinia tomentosa and Barbicinia marcescentha, two plants in the Thulaceae family, established themselves on soilless, no soil, nutrient poor patches to quartzite rock. Plant ecologist Anna Abreu and Patricia de Brito Costa use microscopic analysis to determine that the roots of these two plants, which grow directly into the quartzite, have clusters of fine hairs near the root tip. They have fine hairs near the root tip. Further analysis indicate that these hairs secrete both malic and citric acids. Okay, so now I want to support the hypothesis that they depend on dissolving underlying because they don't have soil, so they don't have nutrient. With these acids, to not only to create channels, but also to release phosphates that will take from it phosphorus. Let's find. Other species in the Phlosia family are found in terrain with more soil, but have root structures similar to those of Dibomentosa and B. marcescentha. Okay, I'm not talking about other species. I'm talking about those. Though B. tomentosa and B. marcescentha both secrete citric and malic acids, yes, we know that. Each species produce the acids in different proportion. He talked about the acids, but he didn't talk to support this. That I want that they use the phosphates, or they dissolve the rock to release phosphates so that they're gonna get phosphorus from it. No. The roots of B. tomentosa and B. marcescentha carve new entry points. Yes, channels. They created channels into rocks even when cracks in the surface are readily available. Yeah, it can be. Here he talk about the create channels. And when they create channels, what will happen? Because they dissolve the rock. So what will happen? They will get the phosphate that they will get phosphorus from. Let's look at the last one. B. tomentosa and B. marcescentha thrive even when transferred to the surface of rock that don't contain phosphates. I'm not talking about that they actually transfer to the surface of the rock or not. I'm talking about that they secrete acids that create channels for them and release phosphates. And this is what they talked about. So the answer is C. Clear, Laith? Laith?
clear مستر.
Clear, Lucy?
Miss, why isn't B?
Again, in D here, he said that B. tomentosa, the two plants, thrive, even when transferred to the surface of rock. I know that they're gonna thrive because actually they plant in soilless area. But the problem, I want something to support that they can create channels, not only create channels, but also release phosphates that get phosphorus from. And this is the only one that talk about that.
طب B.
Look at B. He said both secrete citric and malic acid. Each species produce the acid in different proportion. Where is the part that talk about that they created channels and they got phosphates from the rocks?
Okay,
Okay.
got it. Thank you.
Okay. Let me stop recording. So in number 17, he asked me about logically complete the text. This inference, I'm gonna read everything and I'm gonna highlight the thing that is repeated. He said herbivores, sauropod dinosaurs, could grow more than 100 feet long and weigh up to 80 tons. And some researchers have attributed the evolution of sauropods, the herbivores, so such massive size to increase plant production. So why they have this kind of energetic or enlargement because increased plant production resulting from high levels of atmospheric carbon dioxide during the Mesozoic era. So why they are so long and why their weight is a kind of heavier? Because they contribute that they make assumption that because of the carbon, the high level of atmospheric carbon dioxide during the Mesozoic era. However, contradiction. There is no evidence of significant spikes in carbon dioxide. Nothing show that the carbon dioxide start increasing. No spikes. Level coinciding with relevant periods in sauropod evolution, such as when the first large sauropod appeared. So when they start searching in the past records, they then find that the carbon start increasing on that time when the sauropod start increase or it start a kind of enlargement. When several sauropod lineage underwent further evolution toward gigantism, or when sauropod reached their maximum known size, suggesting that it's not related to the carbon now. What I know, it's not related to the carbon. It's for some other factors, not carbon. This is what I build my inference upon without reading here. Okay, suggesting that fluctuation in atmospheric carbon dioxide affected different sauropod lineage differently? No, because he said no evidence that there is spikes in carbon dioxide. No evidence. The evolution of larger body size sauropod didn't depend on increased atmospheric carbon dioxide. Yes, it didn't depend on. It depended on other factors. Atmospheric carbon dioxide was higher when the largest known sauropod lived than it was when the first sauropod appeared again. He said no indicator that there is a kind of increasing carbon dioxide on that time. Sauropod probably would not have evolved to such immense sizes of atmospheric carbon dioxide had been even slightly higher. No, I said no evidence for the carbon dioxide start to be higher. So the answer is B. Clear, Malak?
Clear.
Clear, Lucy?
I got it right.
Again,
مستر
yes, Lucy.
I still don't understand ليه سي غلط وبي صح.
انت يعني غيرت يعني ولا ايه؟ مش فاهم.
لا، ما انا كنت هحطها بي بس حطيتها سي.
طيب انت بقى اللي عملت كده، نعمل ايه فيكي؟
طب هي ليه بي